Welcome back. Farming is a tough job to begin with, but bad weather and crop diseases can make it even harder to turn a profit. So imagine planting wheat actually designed to combat those things. That's exactly what researchers at K-State are working on. Tonight, KSNC's Amanda Aguilar takes a look at the seeds of science.
Here's some additional Tashiais as well. You can see that.
Dr. Alan Fritz is passionate about the wheat industry in Kansas.
We really are excited about bringing that kind of benefit to the Kansas wheat fields.
He's professor of agronomy at Kansas State.
This looks like this is probably a dicocoides.
Who has made wheat his entire career. From the different varieties.
These are Aegilops Tashii.
To the diseases that threaten them.
We had leaf rust resistance in many of our varieties.
Fritz's work may end with amber waves of grain, but it begins here in the labs and greenhouses at K-State's Wheat Genetics Resource Center. This is the gene bank, where thousands of strains of wheat are stored along with their wild ancestors.
They're the undomesticated species that are growing naturally in the wild.
Fritz works to play matchmaker of sorts, finding just the right combination.
So maybe one has really good yield, really good quality, but maybe it's lacking a key disease resistance. And maybe we have another parent that's pretty good for quality, pretty good for yield, but also resistant to a disease. So we'd complement those traits.
Each combination is a little bit science and a little bit luck that it will turn into the next big thing for Kansas farmers.
We kind of are garbage sifters. We sift through a lot of garbage to find the one jewel that's in there that is really going to be beneficial for our producers.
They name their varieties and watch them grow to see if they'll turn into that one jewel. Right now, K-State's Everest is the leading wheat variety in the state, but it just released Larry, another prospect for Kansas farmers.
Larry probably is more broadly adapted, has good drought tolerance, is not so strong on leaf rust, but very strong on stripe rust, which is a major disease for us.
The Wheat Resource Center is funded by farmers to advance wheat breeding. So farmers are always looking forward to what work comes out of the lab and out onto their fields.
Those new varieties and finding new things is very helpful and important, and it can benefit us.
David Radenberg farms in Barden, Ellsworth, and Rush counties. For him, seed genetics is about the bottom line.
And we may or may not have to use another herbicide. We can be able to breed it into the plant, and so then you're not using necessarily the chemicals.
He says finding the right variety can help him spend less on cultivating his crop and could potentially increase yields, increasing supply and opening more international trade doors with countries wanting to buy more wheat from the state.
It's very good for us as producers to be able to have a place to go and get a good dollars back out of the wheat and the money that we've invested in those products.
While a strong ag economy helps pump more than $60 billion into Kansas every year, the science can also pay off for you, the consumer, in your everyday life. K-State is working to breed varieties that could fit into your preferred diet. From high protein.
This would also potentially have protein contents between 25 and 32% protein.
To a higher nutritional value.
Maybe antioxidant content where be a cancer-fighting properties that would come along with that, as well as things like high iron, high zinc, kind of mineral nutrition.
Those breakthroughs don't come easily or quickly. Fritz says this whole process takes about 11 years per variety. But he says that patience does pay off for farmers and consumers.
We're really trying to find something that's better than what's already out there.
Amanda Aguilar, KSN News.
Now you might wonder if we're talking about GMOs. No, this is considered plant breeding. Genetic engineering can focus on a single gene that doesn't have to come from a similar organism. That's how we get crops that are tolerant of herbicides like Roundup. Plant breeding is the combination of thousands of genes from very similar organisms like different strains of wheat.